911, what's your emergency?
There's a plane. It just crashed into the water. Great Abaco Island, near the shore.
Is anyone hurt? Can you see the pilot?
I can't see anyone. Wait, someone's climbing out. It's a kid.
July 4th, 2010, the Bahamas. A stolen $700,000 aircraft lies destroyed in Caribbean waters. The pilot? A 19-year-old high school dropout with zero flight training who just flew at 1,500 miles from Indiana. The FBI has been hunting him for 2 years. He's stolen 6 airplanes, 19 cars, broken into more than 100 homes, and committed 67 felonies across 3 countries. His victims? Terrified. The internet? Obsessed. 60,000 Facebook fans chanting, "Run, Colton, run." T-shirts, songs, a folk hero for the digital age. And his signature? Chalk footprints and 2 words. This is the story of Colton Harris-Moore, the Barefoot Bandit. March 22nd, 1991, Camano Island, Washington. Colton Harris-Moore is born into a nightmare. His father? A drug addict who abandons the family when Colton is a toddler. His mother, Pamela Kohler, an alcoholic raising him alone in a ramshackle single-wide trailer. From the time Colton was in 1st grade, his mother knew there was something different about him. She later described it as a disconnection. By age 7, he's running away from home, regularly, spending days in the forest just to escape. To survive, he starts breaking into vacation homes, stealing food, camping supplies, teaching himself to live off the grid. By 12 years old, he has his first conviction for stolen property. By the time he's 14, court records show a dozen calls to Child Protective Services, neighbors begging someone to help this kid. No one does. But Colton has a dream, the only dream keeping him alive. He wants to fly. His babysitter told investigators he wore out his first airplane ID book and had to find another. In elementary school, it's all he talks about: airplanes, flight, freedom. He spends hundreds of hours playing Microsoft Flight Simulator, reading manuals, watching instructional DVDs. But he can't afford flight school, can't escape his mother, can't escape Camano Island. So at age 15, his crimes escalate. Identity theft, computer theft, burglaries across the island. February 9th, 2007, police finally corner him. Colton is arrested, facing 23 criminal charges. He pleads guilty to 3 counts, makes a deal, gets sentenced to 3 years at Green Hills School, a maximum security juvenile facility. But here's the thing about locking up a smart kid with nothing to lose. He uses the time to study. He becomes a model student, reads every book on aviation he can find, plans, waits. 1 year later, they transfer him for good behavior. Griffin Home, a minimum security halfway house in Renton, Washington. No fences, unlocked windows. April 29th, 2008, 2 a.m. Colton Harris-Moore climbs through an unlocked window and disappears into the night. He's 17 years old, and for the next 2 years, he's about to become the most wanted teenager in America. Summer 2008, Colton returns to Camano Island, but this time, he's not the scared kid running from his mother. He's a ghost. Break-ins start happening, dozens of them. Vacation homes, businesses, always at night, always precise. But he's not just stealing fruit anymore. Computers, jewelry, credit cards. He's teaching himself identity theft, using stolen cards to buy survival gear online. The FBI raids his mother's house with a warrant for identity theft. But Colton's gone. Police find one of his many campsites in the forest. Everything he's stolen: computers, jewelry, credit cards, driver's licenses, checkbooks. August 2008. The heat's too intense on Camano Island, so he steals a boat and crosses to Orcas Island, a quiet, wealthy community, vacation homes, small airport, perfect hunting ground. Within weeks, burglary reports flood the San Juan County Sheriff's Office. The island is terrified. October 2nd, 2008, the Orcas Island Chamber of Commerce holds an emergency meeting to address the sudden plague of sophisticated break-ins. But they have no idea who's doing this. Until November 12, 2008. Colton walks into a hangar and sees it. A Cessna 182, single-engine, four-seater. He's never flown a real plane in his life, but he's been preparing for this moment for years. He starts the engine, taxis to the runway, and takes off into the night sky. No training, no license, just a 17-year-old kid and a dream. And 300 miles of mountainous terrain ahead of him. He flies through the Cascade Mountain Range, wind gusts from every direction, whiteout conditions at 13,000 feet. Hours pass, fuel runs low. He tries to land, fails, tries again, and crashes. October 1st, 2009, a logger discovers the wreckage near Granite Falls. Police find vomit in the cockpit and bare footprints leading away. The plane belonged to Bob Rivers, a popular Seattle radio host. Colton Harris-Moore just walked away from a plane crash and vanished. That's when the nickname was born, the Barefoot Bandit, because he commits crimes barefoot, sometimes, and leaves chalk footprints behind, always. And the internet goes crazy. A Facebook fan page draws 60,000 members. "Run, Colton, run" becomes the rallying cry. A local Seattle man starts selling t-shirts with Colton's picture and the words "Mama tried." Time magazine calls him America's most wanted teen bandit. To his victims, he's a nightmare. To the internet, he's a folk hero, a modern-day Robin Hood. Except he's not robbing the rich to give to the poor. He's just running. February 2010. Colton's not hiding anymore. He's taunting them. He steals another plane, a Cirrus SR-22 from Anacortes Airport, and lands it on Orcas Island. The next day, he breaks into Homegrown Grocery, steals over $1,000 in cash. But that's not all. He uses chalk to draw a trail of cartoonish feet that snakes up and down the aisles. And at the end, see ya. That's when the FBI loses patience. The Federal Bureau of Investigation and Department of Homeland Security deploy agents to Orcas Island. Coast Guard cutters patrol offshore waters. A Black Hawk helicopter joins the manhunt. They've got him cornered on an island. Military resources, thermal imaging. But Colton's not done. He steals a boat, escapes to San Juan Island, then steals another boat back to Camano. He's making them look like fools. But the net's closing. Police are everywhere. Camano Island is swarming with federal agents. May 31st, 2010. Colton does something unexpected. He leaves $100 and a handwritten note at a veterinary clinic in Raymond, Washington. The note reads, "Drove by, had some extra cash. Please use this money for the care of animals. Colton Harris-Moore, aka the Barefoot Bandit." Even on the run, even stealing to survive, he cares about animals. The internet loves him even more. But Colton knows the truth. Washington is done. The FBI is too close. He needs to disappear completely. June 2010. Colton flees Washington. A trail of stolen vehicles stretches across the country. Police find stolen SUVs, burglarized airports, his signature everywhere. Federal agents warn every private plane owner in the Midwest, be vigilant, lock your hangars, the Barefoot Bandit is coming. July 4th, 2010, Independence Day. A Cessna 400 is reported stolen from Bloomington, Indiana airport, worth $700,000. Colton's plan? Cuba. No extradition treaty with the United States. He makes it as far as the Bahamas, then the fuel gauge hits empty. He has seconds to decide. Crash in the ocean and drown, or try to land. He aims for the shoreline near Great Abaco Island. The $700,000 aircraft is destroyed, but Colton crawls out, alive. He stumbles to a nearby fishing village, For days, he survives by stealing food from stores and restaurants. But this is a small island. Word spreads fast. A boy breaking in for food, American accent. The locals know who he is. The Bahamian police lock down Great Abaco Island. Colton steals a 44-foot powerboat, heads to Harbor Island, thinks he can disappear, but they're ready this time. 3 a.m., Harbor Island, Bahamas. Colton Harris-Moore sits in a stolen boat near a dock. He's been running for 799 days. 6 stolen planes, 19 stolen cars, over 100 burglaries, 3 countries. And now, in the darkness, he hears it. Engines.
Stop your engine! You are surrounded. Put your hands where we can see them.
Colton throws his portable computer into the water. He pulls out a gun, points it at his own head. For a moment, everything stops. The boy who wanted to fly. The legend who outran the FBI. The teenager with 67 felonies and 60,000 fans. This is how it ends?
Colton, don't do this. Put the gun down. We can talk about this.
There's nowhere left to run.
You've made it this far. Don't end it here. You're just a kid. You can still have a life.
What kind of life?
One where you wake up tomorrow. One where you get to decide. But you have to put the gun down first.
Police talk him out of killing himself. July 11th, 2010, just before dawn, Colton Harris-Moore is captured. The 2-year run is over.
The Barefoot Bandit, captured after an international manhunt.
Colton Harris-Moore, just 19 years old, facing more than 70 federal charges. Victims say they finally have closure. Fans say they're heartbroken.
January 27th, 2012. Colton Harris-Moore stands before a federal judge. He pleads guilty to bank burglary, interstate transportation of stolen aircraft, interstate and foreign transportation of stolen firearm, being a fugitive in possession of firearm, piloting aircraft without valid airman's certificate, and interstate transportation of stolen vessel. The judge looks at him.
Mr. Harris-Moore, it's time for a new life flight plan. Do you understand that?
I understand, Your Honor. I'm genuinely remorseful for what I did. I wish I could take it all back. When I get out, I want to become an aeronautical engineer. I want to fly. Legally.
I hope you do. 6 years in federal prison, concurrent with state sentences, plus $1.4 million in restitution to your victims.
Soon after reporting to prison, he sold the rights to his life story to 20th Century Fox for $1.4 million. Every penny went toward restitution for his victims. His story became books, documentaries, t-shirts, a legend. But behind bars, Colton was just Colton, a kid who wanted to fly. September 28, 2016, Moore was released from prison on parole. He tried to start a GoFundMe for flight school. It was shut down. He still owed victims $129,000. Today, he works a regular job, still trying to pay off his debts, still dreaming about planes. So what do we learn from the Barefoot Bandit? Colton Harris-Moore was brilliant, resourceful, determined. Imagine what he could have accomplished with support instead of abuse, with opportunity instead of desperation, with a mentor instead of Microsoft Flight Simulator. The Barefoot Bandit proved one thing. The line between criminal and hero isn't about ability, it's about opportunity. And sometimes, all it takes is one person paying attention to a troubled kid before they start running. 11:35 p.m. Colton Harris-Moore is free now, working a regular job, still dreaming about flying. But here's what haunts me. Somewhere right now, there's a pilot flying passengers safely across the country. That could have been Colton, if anyone had cared. How many kids like him are out there? Brilliant, desperate, invisible. Every share of this video is a chance someone sees it, A teacher, a neighbor, a stranger. Someone who recognizes a kid who needs help before they need a lawyer. Share this, not for Colton, for the next one.